Shalom, friends. It's really strange to be speaking to you by video. In this message, we are announcing to our community that we are closing our facility for the next few weeks, and we'll figure out when it's safe to bring everybody back together again. I wanted to share a message with you because a synagogue is supposed to bring everybody together. And this room is so sweet when it's filled with presence and love and strength, even with sorrows. But for right now, we need to encourage you to stay in your homes. We're going to be streaming services. We're going to be communicating ways to connect a little bit differently. We want you to know that our congregation is still going to be here for our community, but we need to do it a little bit differently. So while the sanctuary is going to be empty except for a few different life cycles, our congregation is filled with light and hope and strength, and we need to continue to make that happen. In this email, there's going to be lots of different information and links to websites so that we can stay connected. And yes, you can call us. We're going to retrieve our messages regularly, routinely, so that we can make sure that we're all able to feel supported and as safe as possible. But we need you to understand why we're doing this. It isn't about some of us staying safer than others. We know that if we were to continue to gather the way we always have been, that virus can be transmitted unintentionally to somebody who's more vulnerable. And we always talk about how we have to watch out for those that are most vulnerable among us. It would be such a terrible, terrible thing to learn that we transferred it from here in this holy space. So we're going to take care of our facility and we're going to take care of our congregants. We're going to show and model our commitment to the idea that all of Israel is responsible for one another, and that Jewish tradition has to adjust in order to save a life, and that is exactly how we feel right now. We have to protect lives. So while I might be able to manage through this virus, or perhaps you, there's going to be somebody in our midst more vulnerable, and we have to watch out for them. Our leadership has spent countless hours trying to figure out what the right thing to do is, and I think we found it. So please be kind and gentle with our leadership. They are doing the very best they all can in order to make sure this congregation and community stays strong, secure, and filled with hope and filled with light, because we're going to need it. I know that these are complicated times, and for some of us, we're feeling a lot of anxiety about everything that's going on around us and the constant change hour by hour. But I do believe in this synagogue and its power for hope. After Shabbat, there's going to be a Havdalah service online. We're going to mark a transition not just from Shabbat to the regular week, but a transition of how we're managing our lives and how do we encounter one another. I hope you'll join me. I hope you'll join us together. And I hope that you'll be patient as we figure all of this out for the very first time. Mostly, we hope that you wash your hands and you keep a safe distance and you make good, thoughtful choices for yourselves and for those around you, really modeling how we are responsible for one another. And I'll wish you a Shabbat Shalom.